Good morning. Okay, fine. I got it. I clicked record. Okay, so two more reminders. If you're just getting on here and you haven't muted yourself, make sure you mute yourself. And secondly, find the chat because we're gonna chat, man. We're gonna chat. We're gonna talk about getting outside of your comfort zone. So this is going to be fun. I'm really excited to talk about this topic because it's something that I've literally been working on for years and years and years and years. And I got to first of all, let's talk about one more thing before we get started. Salted caramel Shakeology is coming out soon. I need to know how excited you are about this because I'm beyond excited. Every time they come out with a new flavor, it gets me really giddy. And this is the first time they're coming out with a new flavor that's not around holidays, right? This is the first summer flavor we have come out with. And salted caramel sounds flipping amazing. If you have the date, because I don't remember it, pop it into the chat. I think it's the end of this month, but I don't remember the date. We also had a new kit go live called the Weekender kit, which is super cool. Make sure you are grabbing one of those or maybe two, so that you have them on hand when you need them. Molly said June 23rd is when salted caramel comes out. Now, it's a new box. Like when you get a special flavor, here's my recommendation. When you get a special flavor, I would not get rid of your auto ship, because what's going to happen is the box that you're ordering of the flavor is less servings. It's not a full 30 servings. It's only like 14, I think, 14 servings, and they're in individual packets. So that's number one. Number two, I suggest, is making sure you order it right away. I mean, like, as soon as they make that link live, you order it. We literally are crazy enough to sit there and go refresh until we can buy it, because it's in limited quantities. They'll only make a certain amount because they've never did this flavor before. They'll only make a certain amount, and when it's gone, it's gone. And you don't want to miss out on it, trust me. So be sure you have the date on your calendar, have an alert set for it, be ready to purchase it as soon as it goes live. Don't be mad if you miss it, right? But if you do get it, make sure you're getting some extra boxes, because you never know. And here's the cool thing about that. If you don't like it, you can return it. You have a 30-day money-back guarantee, right? So don't be afraid to get some extra boxes. What else? Make sure when you make it, you go into your group and tell everybody how much you love it. What else? Don't get rid of your auto ship. These are all really, really important tips that I wish I knew ahead of time when the first time they came out with a flavor and we were all screwed. So don't get, stuck. Make sure you take these tips and heed my warning. Okay, so next, let's talk about comfort zones. So, did you ever see someone do something that seems outside of your comfort zone and instantly say they're a natural? Oh my gosh, they're a natural, right? Have you ever seen that? Now, I'm not going to say this to boast, but I've had people say it to me when I'm doing these calls or when I do like a training call. Oh, she's a natural. Please. Okay, so let me break this down for a second. I have always throughout my life wanted to be like doing something in front of people. So like maybe dancing or singing or whatever, right? I wanted that. And so as a kid, I used to do weird, stupid things. Like I'd dance. If there was music, like I was dancing in front, like just dancing around like a kid, right? With people around. I didn't care. I just danced, right? And I took dance lessons and I wanted to be on stage and all that fun stuff. But that didn't mean I wasn't nervous. I'll never forget the first time I went on stage, I almost puked. And then I reached out of my comfort zone to like do something different. I sang on stage, and trust me, I'll never do that again. But I did not like it at all. But that being said, with all of those things is what I'm trying to say. With all of those things, I thought the first time I would speak in front of people, like give an actual talk, that I'd be fine. I really thought. I was like, oh, I'll be totally fine. No big deal. I will never forget, even just reading from a piece of paper, getting up in front of a small, I say audience, but it was like a class. I was taking, a speech class in college. And I was like, oh, this is great. I'll do awesome. No biggie. And I remember getting up there and I literally had to speak for like 30 seconds. right? And I'll never, like, I'm getting nervous even thinking about it. I'll never forget getting up in front of that class, and my paper was shaking so bad I couldn't read from the paper, you know, like this, and I had to like ask for some, like I had to find something to put my paper down so I wasn't like using my hand to hold it because my hands were shaking so bad. And you know when your hands are shaking and your body's shaking, your voice shakes? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that kind of shaky thing. I don't think they could even understand what I was saying. I don't think they could. I really don't. I don't know, honestly, how I even passed that class. I'm like getting nervous just talking about it. My anxiety's like working up, my heart's beating faster, which is so weird. I'm normally not I'm normally not nervous on these calls, but just talking about it, it's making me nervous. Anyway, from then on out, I literally did that for years. So I was put in a position where when I was 18, I started selling Cutco, and I would go to like people's homes and do a little presentation for them with the knives and like cut rope and cut scissors, cut the penny and sell knives, right? And that part was okay. It still made me really, really nervous at first, but I started getting used to it. But then I was promoted to assistant manager, right? And when you were assistant manager, you had to get up and talk in front of your peers and just share something that's like working really well for you. And once again, I actually thought, I'm going to do okay. Like, this is all right. Trying to psych myself up. And once again, I got in front of the group of people and my hands were shaking and my voice was shaking. And it was literally the craziest thing. And it happened for years. Like, I couldn't stop the whole shaking thing, right? But I kept doing it. I kept going past my comfort zone. I kept doing it over and over and over again. And then I've been coaching now for like 10 years. So literally for 20 years, I've been working on speaking in front of people, right? 20 years. I'm younger-ish. I always say I'm young, but I'm 36 maybe. Anyway, so I've been doing this for 20 years. 36. Yeah, pushing myself to talk in front of people, right? And so when you look at somebody and you say they're a natural, that's you just making an excuse for why you can't do it, right? It is. And I remember reading recently about Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps, outstanding at swimming, won so many medals, more medals than anybody else, right? So amazing. And it's funny because as a kid, you'd think, oh, maybe he was gifted as a kid, but then honed in on that gift. Do you know what I mean? And he probably was a little gifted at first, but what I didn't realize is even as a kid, he was swimming 6 hours a day. As a kid, he was swimming 6 hours a day. Do you think that if you took 6 hours a day to hone in on something, that you would probably become amazing at it after like 20 years of doing that, even 10 years of doing that, even 5 years of doing that? 6 hours a day of honing in on one thing with getting coaching, with having somebody help you. I mean, really think about it. So is he a natural? I don't know. Maybe he was a good swimmer, but if he didn't do 6 hours a day, definitely wouldn't be where he is now, right? Probably not even close. Probably wouldn't even make it to the Olympics. Might just be, oh, he's a good swimmer. You know what I mean? Like, it we can't make those excuses for ourselves when we see other people do well in something, right? We have to understand that there was work behind it, and that work is something that they had to do to get out of their comfort zone. Like, you can't grow into something without going past that comfort zone. So let's talk about it, because there are actual steps you can do to become better at getting past your comfort zone. So let me find where I wrote that down. Okay, we can't grow without reaching past our comfort zone. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, here's the deal. Going past what I had to, like, something clicked in my head at one point is going past your comfort zone. It sounds real fun. It sounds exciting. You're not really sure where to start. But here's the deal. It's actually a trait, a habit, right? It's a habit that you can practice and become better at, right? It's not just a choice when the opportunity comes and you just, oh, I'm going to go past my comfort zone. I mean, it kind of is, how do I word this? But it's actually a habit. in all areas of your life, right? In everything. So the more you do it, the better you become at it, is what I'm trying to say, right? So here's some areas. So first of all, you have to look for areas to go past your comfort zone. Now, what does this have to do with health and fitness, right? What does this have to do with your nutrition? What does this have to do with working out? This is all very important because it's in what we do every day. So if you're one of the biggest things I hear people when they complete a workout program for the very first time, even if they haven't like made huge like weight loss progress, but if they've just completed their first program, one of the very first things they say to us is, I feel amazing. I've gained so much confidence. My self-esteem is higher. You can see it in the way they talk. You can see this joy come out of them, right? And you can start seeing that they're living their life a little differently, right? And the reason for that is because to finish a workout program, there are every single day you have to go past many of your comfort zones. One, maybe you're waking up earlier to work out. Just taking the action to start your workout is going past your comfort zone, right? To actually finish it at the end, you know how sometimes we stop our workout 10 minutes early because we're like so exhausted, right? To finish the workout for the day is going past your comfort zone. To I even wrote more down. To actually up your weights is going past your comfort zone. To doing one more push-up is going past your comfort zone. To be just organizing it. How do I say that? Organizing it throughout your day, because we're all super busy, but to make that extra time for yourself, to improve yourself, is going past your comfort zone. All of these things is increasing your confidence and increasing your self-esteem and your self-worth by actually doing it. But it's not just, oh, I finished a workout program. It's all those tiny little steps throughout, even just in one day, right? All those tiny little pushes past your comfort zone is making you become a stronger, a more confident, and having higher self-esteem person, right? So in every single day, we can look for things, and I'm going to go over about 10, maybe eight things that you can look for to push yourself. Now, why do you want to do this? Because the more you do it, the better you become at it, and the more you become a natural. And if you become a natural of pushing past your comfort zone, you'll also become a natural of hitting your goals, of achieving your goals, whatever they are, right? It doesn't matter what they are. It could be in business, it could be in health and fitness, it could be in relationships, it could be in your finances, it could be in your faith and your relationship with God and Jesus. It could be having peace within you. It doesn't matter what it is. If you can become a natural at going past your comfort zone and pushing yourself over there, then these things will become easier. So grab your pen and paper. We're going to go over a couple, and I'm going to ask you a couple questions while we do this. And don't forget, add it into the chat, because I want to know if you have any ideas or areas in which you think could be really helpful as well. Okay. So how can we practice going past the barrier, the mental barrier of comfort every single day? So first you have to look for the areas in your life, right, that you could, and this is just becoming aware. Once you realize something, you become aware and you start looking for it more and more. Did you ever buy like a new car? Like, oh, I bought a Subaru, and Subarus, I've never even known anything about Subarus. And then all of a sudden you buy one, you're on the road driving it, and you're like, oh, there's a Subaru. Oh, there's a Subaru. Oh, there's a Subaru. Oh my gosh, everybody has a Subaru. That's so weird. I never even noticed them before, right? So once you're aware of this, then you'll be able to look for it more and more and more. And don't forget, the more we practice it, the more we become a natural, and the more things become easier for us to achieve and to become the person that we want to be, right? So are you using, these are simple. I mean, these are like super simple things, right? In your workout, are you using the same 5 and 8 pounders? Are you using the same loops? Are you using the same things without increasing? Are you realizing you're not putting your weights down because they're too heavy? Like if you can finish out the whole set and you're not like, oh my gosh, I can't do one more. This is a time in which you up your weights. Now, I'm a firm believer that you should probably be using a weight that's almost too heavy, right? Because you can always drop down. You can always drop down. And so anyway, if you don't have those weights, if you don't have higher weights, go buy them. Go buy them, right? Get on Craigslist, get on Facebook, find some weights. I know they're hard to find right now since everybody was working from home. No big deal. No big deal. I have faith in you being creative and finding a way to lift heavier, okay? So go past your comfort zone when it comes to your weights. Are you using the same veggie at dinner time? Are you making your veggies the same every week? Do you constantly steam broccoli for dinner, or saute onions and peppers, or are you constantly eating the same veggies every single week? I love when Kaylee talks about, Fun Food Friday, because her family tries a different veggie, or they make something in a different way, right? You don't need to overwhelm yourself, but you do need to get out of your comfort zone. And by the way, the word overwhelm, let's talk about that for a second. You choose to be overwhelmed, right? That's a decision. Choose not to be overwhelmed. Find a way not to be overwhelmed. That's like a mindset, being overwhelmed. Take what you can and do what you can, but make sure you're going past your comfort zone. And don't let that going past your comfort zone be your overwhelm. Oh, I'm overwhelmed because I'm past my comfort zone. No. You're just pushing past your comfort zone, right? You're growing. So instead of saying I'm overwhelmed, say I'm growing. I'm growing, and growth is a struggle sometimes, but I'm growing, and I'm going to go past this, and I'm going to be a better person than I am after I've moved past this comfort zone. Okay. Right. So mindset and the words you're telling yourself, do not use the word overwhelmed, because it makes you back down. Right. Find another way to explain it, and find a way to break it down so that you can achieve it. Don't forget about Walmart and Target and Dick's Sporting Goods for weights. There you go. Good options. Just buy 2 sets at a time and use 1 and 2 pound weights, even ankle weights, to add your 10s. Oh, that's a good idea. So yeah, we even have at Beachbody, we have gloves, and weighted gloves, weighted ankle weights. That's a good idea if you want to just increase it slowly as you go. Love it. Okay. What were we talking about? Veggies. Yep. Get your veggies in and try different ones. Don't be afraid to try different veggies. This is a thing. Go past your comfort zone when it comes to, if you say, I'm a picky eater, and you say it constantly, guess what you're going to stay? You're going to stay a picky eater, right? You could say something like, I'm working on increasing my veggie vocabulary. change your words, change your mindset, change your self-talk. It's going to help a lot. Okay. So go past your comfort zone with your veggies. Have you been giving the same amount at church or at charities every week, every month for years? I know that I have my givings at different organizations on auto ship, whatever, they just take it out of my bank account. But if I do that, sometimes I forget then to reevaluate. If I'm making more money, I should be giving more money, right? And so evaluate these things. Like if you're, that's a true comfort. Oh, I'm comfortable because I'm making more money, and forgot to add more over there to that column of charity, that column of giving, that column of serving, right? Well, if I'm receiving more, I should be giving more, right? So make sure you're getting out of your comfort zone with that. Have you been making the same amount at work? How can you, if you've been making the same amount at work or with coaching or whatever it is, your business, how can you increase it? Because whatever that is, to increase it, you're going to be going past your comfort zone for it. So if you're making the same amount all the time, you have been for years, it's time to wake up. Because if you can earn more, then you can give more. You see how that makes the world a better place, right? So get out of your comfort zone there. These are decisions that we make, right? We have to look for these decisions. We have to look for these ways of growing. Have you been I already went over that one. Personal development. Have you been reading something to improve your mindset? Okay. Now, I know the people on this call, and I know a lot of us are going to say yes, right? So I'm going to up it, level up here, okay? Did you study that thing and implement what it is that you're reading and studying? Because I don't want you to be a perpetual student. You know, the kids and people who like to go to school over and over and over and over and over again, but they never actually worked in the field. I don't want that to be you. I want you to be able to implement, because there's no reason to just keep learning. I mean, then it's just noise. It's really noise. So become a do-it-all, not a know-it-all. If you're constantly learning over and over and over again and not implementing something, you become a know-it-all. Nobody wants to be a know-it-all. And let me tell you, I know that firsthand, because I have been there and I still struggle with that constantly. And I don't want to be a know-it-all. I want to become a do-it-all. I want somebody to look at me and be like, wow, look at what she's achieved, right? Or just look at my own life and be like, oh, this is good. Like, I am improving, I am increasing, I am serving more. But you can't serve more if you're constantly just shoving stuff in your head, right? You got to be doing. You got to be doing more. So that's a level up here. Okay. Next thing I have on here was do you pray every day? And if you don't pray, do you meditate every day? And if you do pray, is it just like, I know for me, I have to force myself to find other times. So like not just before meals or going to bed, but to find the time to pray. So one thing that, and you can do this with meditating too. One thing that I have read recently, and I think is such a good idea. Do I have it here? I don't. Okay, that's okay. I think I remember it. I was told, I read somewhere that when you're, that your prayer can actually be while you're working. Okay. And hold on a second. If you're not super like spiritual or religious, then hold on a second. I have something else for meditation too. But, and by the way, if you are religious, spiritual, you can also meditate. But let's talk about the prayer thing first. I have it written down. I'll have to post it later and show you. But it says on a piece, I put it on a sticky note and I put it on my work journal, and it says, basically, for the next hour, I will use this. I will be focused and offer this up as a prayer for, and then say somebody I want to pray for. And then it helps me not only stay focused with my work, but I'm also using my work as prayer. Does that make sense? So I forget the exact wording, but it's basically like, I am going to stay focused over this next hour. And that's going to be my sacrifice and my prayer, and for someone that I know who has cancer, or for someone I know who's struggling with blah, 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 right? And so it's basically using your time and something that you struggle with and using it as a prayer for somebody else. Does that make sense? I thought that was so powerful, so powerful. And I've put it on a sticky note and put it where in areas in which I know that I'm about to do it. It's a struggle for me, but I'm going to use this struggle as a prayer for somebody else. Does that make sense? When it comes to meditation, meditation is something that you can do while you're in action. It's called active meditation. So you could be going for a walk with your kids. You could be working out. You could be, and you'll just have to look this up, but look up, you just Google active meditation, and you'll find that you don't need to be sitting in a corner. I mean, that's always good to be silent and calm, right? But you could be doing active meditation. So these are just different ways to use the time in which you already have to break out of your comfort zone and become a better person so that you can serve the world better. Okay, so next, when was the last time you volunteered your time? And I know that this is a hard one for me. I do struggle with this because I'm always like, well, I'm really busy, or I have 4 kids, or I'm building a business, or blah, 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 right? Still not an excuse. It's not an excuse. So what can we do to make the time to volunteer? Another excuse I've given myself, well, I don't even know where. Really? Like, we have so many ways to find ways of, I mean, in today's world with social media and the internet and 8 million churches in like a 2.2 mile radius, like, we could find ways to volunteer our time, right? even, by the way, even if you don't go to church, find your local church, go ask them, do you do soup kitchens? Do you do this? Do you do that? And find a way. Trust me, they will have a list of things that you can do to help serve your local area. Okay. Here's some money mindset ones, okay? When you buy a car or something like that, or a house or whatever, or even like a mattress for your house or for your bed, anything that you know could be negotiated, do you ask for a better price? That's somebody's comfort zone, right? That's definitely can be somebody's comfort zone. Asking for a better price, asking for free fries. Go to the I know this sounds weird, okay? And let me explain myself. When I first started selling Cutco, right? I was young. I was like 18. And what they do is they teach young kids, 18, 19, basically success principles, mindset. They teach them how to get over their comfort zones because it's a habit. It's an excellence habit. It's a habit of excellence, and it's going to help you succeed in so many areas of your life, if not all the areas of your life, right? And so they literally gave us a challenge. They said, okay, I want all of you to go to McDonald's and ask for free fries when you order. Can I have two double cheeseburgers, and can you throw in a free fry? And see what they say. That's uncomfortable, right? It's like, oh, no, I'm not going to ask for free fries. Why would I do that? I have the money for free fries. I'm not going to ask, because it gets you out of your comfort zone. On top of that, it gets you okay with a no. You become okay with a no. Like, nothing bad happened when they said no. Like, oh, okay, just wondering. Just wanted to see what you could do, no big deal. No big deal. No big deal. Get your kids to do this, by the way. If you have kids, like, go ask them for a free fry. No, we're not teaching to beg, but what we're teaching is to get out of your comfort zone, right? That little task, it sounds so silly, but it really opened my mind. It really opened my mind. So it gets you okay with a no. If they say yes, you're like, wow, weird. Like, that worked. Would I have gotten a free fry if I didn't ask? No, right? No. And little kids, by the way, have this innate ability to ask 8 million times for something that they want over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And somehow we've beaten it out of them by the time they're 18, then they don't do it anymore. But I think there's something cool about learning from that, right? Lots of things about getting out of your comfort zone when you do weird little things like that, right? So yes, when you buy a car, when you buy a home, do you negotiate price? Do you ask for a better price? It's a mindset thing. It's going past your mindset and not being afraid to do something and not being afraid to do it. I shouldn't say that. It's not being afraid. It's having the courage when you are afraid. It's doing it anyway when you're afraid. It's feeling weird about it, but doing it anyway, right? By the way, when it comes to comfort zone, you already know this, but I feel like I have to say it. Like, obviously you want to do things in the right way. I mean, we're not going past our comfort zone in a bad way. We're always going in the comfort zone towards the right things, right? Okay. So, lastly I have on here is to share the opportunity that's changed you. If you're on here and you have had some kind of success with our tools, with Beachbody On Demand, with Shakeology, with our nutrition plans, with whatever, and you've felt like it's made you a better person, share it with somebody else. Share it. Even if you are not interested in being a coach or whatever, share it and give it to your coach, right? Like, okay, here, somebody, but share it. Don't keep it to yourself. If it has made you a better person and helped you in some way, share it with other people. If you do want to do that as a business, then we have trainings for that. But the training is not important. What's important is that you are talking to someone and sharing your experience, because it's going to help somebody else, right? If it helped you, it's going to help somebody else. So keep that in mind. Go past that comfort zone, share it with somebody else so that you can serve them, right? So all these things, I gave you a nice long list. But I want you to try to focus on one main area of all those things that we said. Focus on one main area. But at the same time, I hope this makes sense, but at the same time, always keep in mind with everything you do about your comfort zone, right? Because you can make tiny incremental changes with the things that you do. I love this book, The Slight Edge. It talks about this because you can make tiny little incremental changes in everything you do, and it will compound, right? It will compound. The other book, I love this one, and I love the compound effect, right? Same with the other way. If you're not growing, if you're not taking the opportunity, looking for ways to grow, you're going to go in the opposite direction, right? So if somebody's living life and they're not worried about their health, their fitness, and you see it, it happens to us, it happens to everybody, and they just kind of let society tell them what to be eating and becoming a product of convenience, right? Then your weight over time is going to slowly increase, right? Over time. And once you get many years in, you could be 50 pounds more than what you were before, right? Now for me, I gain weight very quickly. So that could be, instead of 20 years, it could be 1 year, right? But it just depends on who you are and your genetics. On the flip side, if you're always working on it, and becoming, like increasing your knowledge, implementing what you're learning and everything, you might either stay exactly where you should be, or if you're already overweight, you're going to slowly decrease in weight. So what I'm saying is, it doesn't all have to happen all at once, right? You don't have to work on all these things all at once, but you can slowly make decisions as they happen. Like when you're making a decision, think to yourself, how can I level up, right? But in these areas of finance, faith, health, fitness, relationships, look for one that really needs work and work on that one as much as you can. Another area, I said relationships, so I want to bring up this book because my husband and I, a couple years ago, were really struggling. I mean, really struggling. And we broke out this book. And the reason why we broke out this book was because we had already read the 5 love languages, right? But what we were struggling with, I don't even remember what it was, to be honest with you. But what I do remember is that we needed to break down every little area of our marriage. And that comes to like stupid things. Who takes the trash out, right? I mean, that's a stupid thing. Who empties the dishwasher? Who takes care of the kids in the morning? These are stupid little tiny things that can really wear away at a marriage. I mean, really wear away at it. And then by the time the marriage is over, you think to yourself, how? I don't even know how we got here. I don't even know. I don't know how we got here, right? This is called The Marriage You've Always Wanted, and it's by Gary Chapman. And it really helped us see an overall vision and the little things. Does that make sense? That helps that overall vision become what we want. So that's another book that I highly recommend. But I want you to level up. I want you to read it, and I want you to study it, and I want you to implement it, right? So what we did is we read 1 chapter a week, and we met about it. We had a cup of coffee over that chapter and talked about it. So yeah, that takes commitment. It does. It takes commitment, and it takes wanting to work on something together, and it takes the conversation. It literally just starts with a conversation. You have to be the one to speak up and be like, listen, I'm really thinking about this. I would really like to read this with you. Would you be open to it? Which sounds like coaching, right? When you're reaching out to someone, would you be open to checking this out, right? And if they say yes, great. If they say no, great. Wait a month and ask them again. Hey, I really thought this might be really cool. And I know you said no before, but I really wanted to see if it would be something that you'd be open to now. Is it a better time for you? And if they say yes, great. And if they say no, put it in your calendar to ask again 30 days later. Okay. Yep. That's coaching in a nutshell. So anyway, those are my topics. I really hope they help you. Lynette, you're making my heart sing. Awesome. So share with me real quick if you have one. Please go to your chat and tell me, is there an area in your life that you're going to work on just off the top of your head? This isn't like, I'm 100% committed right now. But tell me, what are you thinking? What area in your life do you think you would like to level up? And do you know, like, have an idea of where you're going to start? Tell me now. Thanks, Kaylee. You're super sweet. Okay, so Lynette said, love this. I needed to hear this topic this morning to level up in my life. Kaylee said, you're always so helpful and motivate me for the weekend. What? I feel like I need to take pictures of these. Patty, that is a really good one. And oh my gosh, that's one I'm working on right now. My husband called me a bull in the china shop the other day. He still thinks it's funny that I even remember this, but it's true because I'll steamroll over people, like when they're talking to me, and not stop and listen. Stop and listen. Stop and listen, and not just wait for my time to speak, which is something I think I've been working on since I was, able to speak. But I'm working on that now. I love that. I'm going to take some quick pictures of these so I remember them. Kaylee, who are you talking about? You're always a good listener, the best listener in my life. I need to put PD, personal development. Clean said, I need to put PD into action. I need to finish at least one of the 4 books I'm reading. Yep. She is like my double when it comes to learning. Yep. Lynette said spirituality has been on autopilot and volunteering. Yes, let's work on up-leveling that. Patty said, I guess listening has arose in her personal development. I'm currently listening to. Don't be formulating a response. Yeah, that's hard. Guys, when it comes to listening, I do want you to know this. What helps me, and I think it's because of like an ADHD brain where my brain's like working all the time, no matter what, whether someone's talking to me or not. I probably have like 8 different things. Sometimes Jesse looks at me, he's like, what are you doing? And I'm literally like lipping conversations in my head. That sounds so weird, but anyway, that happens. What I found when I'm listening to someone is having a pen and paper in my hand. And if I can take notes on what they're saying, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but it's not. This is what I can, if I can take notes on what they're saying, I might never look at those notes again, but it helps me not to be thinking about other things. And if something does pop up in my head, I can write it in the margin, like 1 or 2 words, so that because part of the reason why we interrupt people is because we're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget to say this. I'm going to forget to bring this up at the end of the conversation. So when I'm talking to someone, I might write down on a piece of paper that's nearby, or like in the margin if I'm taking notes, like if I'm on the phone with someone. And then I'll remember to bring that topic up later. Does that make sense? So it can come in my head and out my head as quickly as possible. So I'm not trying to hold on to it so I remember later. Because the moment you're trying to hold on to it, then you're going to totally miss the other half of what they said. It's so, so important. And by the way, if you want people to like you, listen to me. This sounds ridiculous, but listen to me. If you want people to like you, you need to listen. You need to listen to them, not just listen, but actively listen. That will make people feel so connected to you by listening. Listen, actively listen, and then like ask a question to dig more, right? Then they'll know you're listening. You don't have to repeat everything they say, by the way. That's a big thing. I know a lot of people say that. Just repeat back what they said. That's kind of like annoying when you're in a conversation. But if you actively listen and then go on with the conversation of what they're talking about by asking a question to clarify or to show that you've been listening, then they'll know you're listening, and they'll know that you're actively participating in that conversation, which, by the way, is really, really hard when we have phones. So when you're talking to someone, put the phone down on its face, away from you. We have to do that at home all the time because Jesse and I both work from home. We literally have to, like, if my kids come up to me, because we're the worst, If our kids come up to us and we want to answer them and we're looking at our computer, it just shows really, really bad skills, right? So if we lower our laptop computer and look at them directly like this, we are listening, right? Then it's better. Same with our phone. If we put it down and put it away from us while we're talking to someone, it just instantly lets that person know that you care about them, right? Not saying you don't care about them when you are looking at your phone. It's just that it shows them more that you care about them. I know this conversation kind of went long, so I'm gonna have to let you guys go. If you don't have anything else, yes, clean. She says, I do this when I'm interviewing. I think you mean the whole writing things down. And I do that too whenever I'm interviewing on here. If I'm asking people, I am writing things down. Patty says, you're speaking my language. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I'm so happy I am. Don't be formulating a response. Yes, love it. Yes, awesome. Love you guys. Thank you so much. I can't wait to talk to you next week at 8 o'clock a.m. Make sure you're inviting people. Talk to you later. Bye.